The City Council meeting. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The roll.
Legansky,
Here.
Sullivan,
Here.
Belzak,
Here.
Kenny,
Here.
Gustafson,
Here.
Shower, Stompanato,
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. Takes us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. This is for people in the audience who want to bring forth something that's not necessarily on our agenda tonight. But first I'm going to have Alderwoman Sullivan, she has a request that she'd like us to follow through on. Mary?
Thank you, Mayor. I am deeply saddened by the passing of Governor Jim Edgar. He embodied civility, bipartisanship, and integrity, a reminder of a better kind of politics that our country badly needs today. His legacy is more than his many accomplishments in office. It lives on in the Edgar Fellows Program. I was fortunate to be a part of this Edgar Fellow Program in 2023, which reflects his lifelong commitment to developing future leaders. My thoughts and prayers are with his wife Brenda and their family. Illinois has lost a true statesman, and all of us have lost a shining example to follow. Governor Pritzker has ordered flags in Illinois be flown at half-staff in honor of Governor Edgar's name and legacy. I just want to take a moment of silence to remember Governor Jim Edgar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll open it up to anybody in the audience who would like to come forth and share anything with us. Just state your name.
My name is Susan Clegg, and I'm the president of the board of Waterfall Glen Condominiums Association, and I want to thank you for allowing us to speak. This goes back to the J Residence property that was built on Sokol Court. November 4th, 2022, the contractor of the property hit a water line and broke a cap off the water line and filled the underground garage that was being built. I called the city, as well as I'm sure the contractor did. Someone came over and shut the water main off. However, they proceeded to pump that muddy water into our pond. I have plenty of photos, as Dan Combeck knows, to show what occurred. I called the Darien police, they came out, they called the city, and someone from the municipal department came out and turned the water off, or shut the pumps off. I continue to email your city on the regular basis with photos of the muddy water flowing into our pond, and I've had many conversations with Jin Yu, the Vice President of the Development Construction for Level Development, about our concerns, and was assured that once the project was completed, they would mitigate our pond. On December 2024, Jin Yu tried to convince me into accepting funds so that we would oversee the work of the mitigation of the pond, and I refused to do so. The city of Darien agreed to take over the mitigation of the pond. The muddy water continued to flow into our pond. Now we're going on to almost 3 years of muddy water going into our ponds. August 11th and 12th, McLeod Pond Maintenance came out. They were hired by, I believe, Level Development. And they dredged for a day and a half, mud and silt out of our pond, filled the bladder, like a big, huge bladder bag sitting on the property jade to allow this to filter out. Well, as they let the water come out, that water proceeded to flood and come into our property, into our grass, and flow into our pond. Not so much that it was clear, but it's just that the water is not flowing into the retention pond to the north or flowing east off our property. Instead, it's dumping into our property, into our parking lots. It's overflowing whenever we have rain. Excuse me. Then we had, as what Dan Gombeck refers to as 100-year rain. You all got water, everyone got water, I understand. But they do not have any kind of water filling into that north retention pond. And with 100-year rain, there should have been some water sitting there. It leads me to believe that that water is not being directed that direction. It's been over a month since the dredging was done. We were told there was going to be landscaping taking place, and I just feel that it is now but over a month and nothing's been done. We continue to have muddy water dumped into our property. Some sort of sod or mud to stop for now, but right now, nothing is all flowing to our property. And I just feel that, you know, you guys have kind of forgotten about us.
Are we aware of this one?
Yes, and I'd be more than happy to expound on anything I can help out here. Ms. Kelly, I believe you said that it did stop right now, the groundwater, or it's still coming?
Oh, no, it's still coming.
It's still coming?
Still coming,
I
yeah.
have not received anything more from you since we
Right.
put in those inlet baskets, but now you're telling me that additional
Right.
groundwater is
And the
coming
water
in?
is flowing over from their property, instead of flowing away, it's flowing into our property. That building is 3 to 4 feet higher than our property.
Again,
I don't know how you guys managed to allow that to happen.
the actual portion that you're referring to is at the curb. The curb is just behind the curb, that's the actual spillway by the side.
Right.
We checked that grade is approximately 3 to 4 inches high. Now, I think you're aware of some of the conversations that we've had based on the final inspection on landscaping recently. When I say recently, about a month ago. Since then, we and Jim and McGinn and you owners have gone out and sought some proposals for landscaping. What's the concern with the landscaping? It's deficient. It's deficient from the turf.
Absolutely.
Turf establishment, number one, and as well as trees and or shrubbery.
Right.
We have what we call a letter of credit on file. Since then, we also I decided that we should take this internally because there's too many players involved. We have Jen, who was the former owner, now we have a new owner, so there's a sort of disconnect because of how quickly it happens.
In the meantime, we still have muddy water going into our ponds.
That's the first I'm aware of that. We have not called me since, and for our conversation, when we were out there, I said, no, you make sure you call me if there's anything that you see. We have not received that call.
Okay.
We did a thorough job of cleaning everything on ours.
I know you have, I've seen that, but something is not right. Something's still not right.
And you know what it may be? I can't guarantee this, because the establishment of turf that causes basically a lot of clay.
Right, and stone.
Because the turf did not take. Typically, turf, it takes it about a year to establish. In this case, it was seed, it was not sod. So, if I can continue, so basically what we recently went is, we had the count of deficient plants and or plants that weren't planted. Also, the establishment of the regrading and turf establishment. We, the city, put a proposal out. We just opened up bids today. With that said, we have a discrepancy in the bids. One may need to be disqualified. So tomorrow, I plan on basically sending an email back out to Jen and the bond company that we called it
Right.
to see who will be forwarding payment for us to overtake this project.
So is there any kind of a swale that they can put between their property and ours that the water can collect there instead of going from their property rushing into ours? Why can't we have some sort of swale there?
And we could have a separate conversation. I don't understand where you're saying the water is rushing. I know that one part in the parking lot, that's.
And it continues to go there and we still have that river going along.
That's 100% correct. I agree with you 100%, and that's something on the deficiency list, which really is a matter of, with a machine, it's about a 20-minute to half-hour job in order to reprofile that. But yes, that will be profiled because that is not established with turf either.
Okay. All right, so I can be hearing from you in the next week or so as to when you get this
Probably
together?
at least be 2 weeks because I have to do some, there's a lot of logistics involved with the bidding process and city council processes, and in this case, attorney processes.
So we're looking at a 2-month period from the time we had it dredged.
Within one, getting what?
Since the time you were there in August, having it dredged, 2 more weeks puts us to October. We waited over, last October, this was supposed to have been done.
We'll take care of that. We'll take care of this, the public works department. We'll take care of that swale, as you refer to it as. We can knock that down. It's not a problem with that. Trying to find out for that as well. So that's no concerns at all.
Okay, all right, well, we'll keep an eye on it and then you'll keep getting emails with photos.
That's fine.
Okay.
Please do. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Dan,
I was kind of confused here. If it sounds like it started when the water main first broke. So was there a problem with this prior to the water main
When
breaking?
sold that, when that was flat land, we never had.
No, but prior to the water main breaking.
No,
was
because
there a
it was grass, it was mud.
Got
We
it.
never had a problem because it was level. Once they started excavating that, that's when the water started having a problem.
It seems like
started
it, but you said that it started when the water main broke.
But that was under construction, that was during the construction
Construction,
phase.
got
Right.
it.
It
I
didn't
missed
happen
that
when the
part.
project was
Pumped
finished.
the water
Got it.
into our pond.
But it's continuing to do no matter what.
Well, it's a little bit different right now. When that water main broke, obviously a hole filled up with water. In this case, it was the garage. So the contractor started pumping it out. And obviously, you can imagine when 12-inch main just lets go. So they have to, evacuate that water out, so dewater it. And they use pumps that they're referred to in the industry as trash pumps. Well, obviously, they're pretty powerful ones they had out there. With that said, they basically pumped it into a storm sewer, clearly into a storm sewer, which contains muddy waters. So that was an isolated situation. All the stormwater management protection was in place. The EPA came out there and also confirmed that there was no violations. Now, the turf establishment, the clay that was loose prior to any type of turf establishment, yes, some of that probably did go into the actual storm sewers. The storm sewers have all been televised. And more recently, we televised them with our equipment, cleaned them, and put what's referred to as inlet filter baskets in there. So really, there should be no additional brown waters coming in there unless it's coming from that swale,
Right.
which I will agree with you. So we will take care of
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And then what's not getting into the retention pond?
The north side.
So just the north side, it's a little bit of there's a grading from the parking lot to the area supposed to flow is a little high with turf.
Got it,
Or
okay.
established turf.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I believe we're on it. Unfortunately, it's not moving as quick as I want. I know there's a deadline here with fall coming up.
Right.
I am moving very expediently is the best I can tell you at this
Okay.
point.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Dorothy Farah. I'm also from the condo association. I'm the treasurer of the board. And I just want to bring to your attention what these ponds mean to us. There are 3 ponds, north, a west, and a south. If this continues to get dirty and muddy, the big pond that he's talking about drains into another pond, and that one drains into the other pond, which eventually drains into the forest preserve. If that pond is allowed to get really muddy, it's gonna cause the other 2 to get muddy too. The people that live in the apartment buildings just sign a lease for 6 months or 12 months. And when you probably look for an apartment, you're just looking for location and what's inside the apartment. When you buy a condo, you don't have a lease. You sign a deed and you invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into that unit. And you also look for your landscaping. When the people sit on the balconies to our condos, that is their front yard. We have wildlife, we have raccoons and coyotes and deers all coming to our ponds, and they enjoy that. That won't be possible if we have 3 mud lakes there. So it is very important that we get this fixed and stop the north pond from getting dirty.
With all due respect, the one pond that you're referring to is a pond that's independent of the other 2 ponds, because the pond that we're talking about right now flows to the forest preserve via the backyards there.
No, it flows into the middle pond back of our courtyard, and that one flows into the south pond. The south pond is what drains into the forest reserve.
I'll double check with
The
you.
north one does not drain into the forest reserve.
I will review that with you and your Susan.
So we're concerned about having 3 muddy ponds instead of 1 muddy pond. And that will affect our value of our property if the people sit out there and don't have what they paid for, a nice landscaping and nice area. So I just want to ask the Darien Council to consider getting this cleaned up and helping us.
Well, we're gonna get the actual turf established, there's no more time for remediation at this point. There was a lot of sediment that was removed. Also, we will take a further action and see what other opportunities are to make sure there is no further groundwater, as you refer to it. The other job will be initiated first thing tomorrow morning.
Are they going to come back and try to filter more mud out of that
No.
north pond?
No,
Well, it's constantly, every time it rains, getting more mud
I
into
will
it.
review that, it's only been a couple rains since, it was last done. The rains have not been heavy.
Okay, I thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience have a comment? Please come forward.
Hi, my name is Mary Shank. I'm a resident at condominiums on Waterfall Glen. I just have a question because we just need some guidance. The frontage road that we live off of, it is becoming really, really busy, lot of truck traffic. I'm assuming they're coming off of like I-55, and then it's a shortcut to get over to Cass Avenue and get on over there because of 355 always being backed up there. But we were wondering, we've had like I think maybe actually 3 people that have been killed on that frontage road, whether it's motorcycle, car accidents. We have 2 memorials that are on that road that the families had put in. And if I'm not mistaken, our biggest thing was because it's so busy, is there a way that we can try to get a stoplight at Cass Avenue where that frontage road comes out?
I think we looked at that, didn't we, Dan?
Yeah, we did with the original development that was in for the warehouse. Number one, it was not quantified or justified at that time. And I'm not sure who the agency would be in charge of, whether it be IDOT, DuPage County, Township. You know, it depends on what they do this, if there's an opportunity for it. But somebody has to take the study, so I think it's the best hands of IDOT at this point.
What I always explain to people when they ask about a stoplight or a stop sign, there has to be a warrant that says one goes there. If we put a stop sign where it's not warranted and that causes an accident, we become liable. If we put a stoplight somewhere where it's not warranted and it causes issues, we become liable. So we've got to go, whether it's IDOT, DuPage County, Department of Transportation, or the county, we have to allow them to determine whether or not it's warranted to have a stoplight there. So we're not against doing that, but they have to say a stoplight belongs here.
And we get so much traffic from Arden, both entrances from Main Street and Cass Avenue. And then we have the Fourth Street where ice so it's just that dangerous.
Hi, I'm Mary Sullivan. I'm the alderwoman that's in that ward. And we've, been in constant communications with IDOT regarding problems along North Frontage, which is on your side. And I'm right next to South Frontage. I'm on the other side of 55. And I agree wholeheartedly that the traffic increase has been significant along Frontage Road because of the crowding on 55. I mean, and it's all times of the day. I'm sure you look out your condo window, I walk my dog and I see congestion on 55 at all hours. So we've constantly been talking to IDOT. If we're talking Cass Avenue and Frontage Road, that would likely be the county because there is, plans in the future, who knows when that will be, for there to be some changes to Cass Avenue as it relates to from my side of 55, the north side, through the south side and through the Forest Preserve in Argonne. I mean, they realize because of bikers and traffic, they've obviously added parking lots over at Waterfall Glen. But, I will definitely communicate concerns about 55, north and south frontage roads. I mean, there's constantly, on my side, there's cars going through the fence and fences being obstructed. And Dean Gombic and his team put in requests for repairs, and I mean, right now it's taking them months to repair fencing, and then they don't come out. There's multiple spots in the fence but they only, they do it in order. So like a big stretch of fence was down longer than a shorter stretch, but they only did the one part. They're extremely understaffed, and it's frustrating because it is a hazard.
And then they have the guard there too. You can't see them.
Well, if there's areas you feel that are hazardous that need to be trimmed, please email me or city so that we can put that request in too. Because they did recently come by and do some trimming along North Frontage Road because it was obstructing from turning.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Please come forward.
Joe Wychuck. Just here to kind of give some feedback regarding our new e-scooter, bike, motorcycle ordinance. Okay? I think that some of the wording in there is just a bit too ambiguous. There's not much differentiation between trail and path, okay? As an example, the Southern DuPage County Regional Trail, okay, starts in Woodridge. Part of it's in Woodridge, as an example. And it's the multi-use paved trail, it's the asphalt trail, okay? It just got finished, we finished it again. That continues going east through Darien, and parts of it become concrete, like a wider sidewalk. Still called trail, okay? Then there are some little diversions where it goes off onto the street, okay? Still called trail, okay? So if I look at this ordinance, you know, the person is on one of these e-scooters or bikes, whatever, and it's okay in one municipality, then they get to Darien and part of it is okay, then they get to another section, well, trail, you're not supposed to be on a trail on these things. So I think it's causing a little bit of confusion for some people. And so I think that needs to be clarified. And what do I want to say about this? I'm not sure why that we didn't include some type of maybe helmet, because safety was the main issue for this. I know that why you guys try to pass this as quickly as possible because of safety. And I've seen kids do some kind of crazy things. They're kids, they're trying to have fun. But I've not seen anything in any of the ordinance about helmets, especially for the younger kids. Some of them, you know, they have them, but a lot don't have the helmets. And safety is the issue, maybe including something with helmets might have been helpful, at least, you know. So I think there might need to be some rewording of our ordinance here. And maybe some redefining of where bikes, you know, like the e-bikes are allowed. A lot of places, you know, sidewalks or trails. Again, the trail, are we talking about the multi-use paved trail? Are we talking about, you know, off-road dirt or gravel trail like the forest preserves? I think the e-bikes are allowed in the forest preserves. A certain class of them. So clarification, I think, would be helpful. I mean, it's kind of hard for anybody to follow a law that's written ambiguously. Just my opinion.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Luann Spiros. I am just here today as resident and Health District Commissioner. First, I want to say thank you for the wonderful relationship and working with Ralph and all of you guys. I thank you for all your service to the community. I really just came here just to listen and learn, to understand more about the goals and the challenges that we face. Also to recognize Dan and Chief, your areas, and the Park District. We've had some wonderful successes with Thompson Barbers and all of that recently. So just listen and learn. And of course, I'm always looking for any feedback.
Thank you. Anyone else? With that, I'll I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes for September 2nd, 2025, all moved by Alderman Stompanato, seconded by Alderman Kenny. Any questions or comments? If not, the roll.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Legansky.
Abstain.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 abstention.
Minutes have been approved. Receiving a communication, is there any of the Aldermen have communications from their residents they'd like to share? Alderman Gustafson?
Yeah, I did get a call from a resident on Woodvale Drive today regarding the future dust to be caused by grinding of the streets that's going to be done this week. I gave Dan Gombeck a call. We had a conversation, and I passed that information back on to the resident.
Thank you. Alderman Kenny?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I got a couple of communications. My first one is received a communication from Linda Canino regarding the Sullivan Fairview subdivision annexation that's been going through zoning and should be going to the municipal services at some point. I set up a meeting with the president of the Casala Homeowners Association with Mr. Gombeck and Ryan Murphy and you yourself. Unfortunately, I had other obligations. I couldn't stay on it. And then I had another communication from Jack Quinert. He sent me some information regarding Ohio-based Hyman's grocery store that's coming into Naperville. Thought it might be a good fit for Chestnut Court. That's all I got.
Mr. Gombeck?
Mr. Kenny, I just want to correct a variation or any type of zoning public hearing for that property.
Is it happening yet?
It has not been scheduled
Got
yet.
it.
There was a sign up there. The date was covered due to him changing.
That's right. I'm sorry. Thank you,
Just want
sir.
to confirm that, okay.
Mary?
Thank you, Mayor. I've been in communication with Joe and Gail Bosch, who live in the Bailey Park South Townhome community. They have been expressing grave concern, witnessed many reckless young people on almost what they would call motorbikes, mini bikes, through their neighborhood. They're being very diligent, calling 911. I know Jason Norton and Austin Jump are very much trying to help track down this group. But once again, just urging parents to please, mind our ordinances, educate your children, safety first. And obviously we can't require helmets because it's regulated by the state. We as a municipality can't do that. But everyone on any kind of bike, pedaling or motorized or should be wearing a helmet, in my opinion. But I think the police and, please continue to call 911 if you see any recklessness or are concerned for the safety of the individuals or yourself, because we really need to get in touch with these people or violators as quickly as possible so that we can rectify it.
Okay. That takes us to the mayor's report. I have a mayoral proclamation I'd like to read. Whereas according to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people between the ages of 10 and 34, and one of the leading causes of death in Illinois. Whereas almost 5 times as many people died by suicide than in alcohol-related motor vehicle accidents. And whereas according to the CDC, the most recent data shows that nearly 50,000 people died by suicide across the United States in 2023, with an additional 1.5 million people attempting suicide. Of these tragedies, white males account for nearly 70% of the deaths, and overall men die by suicide nearly 4 times as often as women. And whereas just one suicide often impacts hundreds of additional people, including family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, and community members, with 1 in 5 of those affected reporting that the experience had a devastating and lasting impact. And whereas recent statistics indicate that nationwide, More than 2/3 of communities do not have enough mental health providers to meet the level of need. And whereas September is known globally as the Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, providing a dedicated time to come together around a difficult topic, raise the visibility of the mental health resources and suicide prevention services available in our communities, further the public conversation about mental health, raise awareness of the impact of suicide, and help destigmatize the conversation and help connect those in need with the appropriate support services. And whereas organizations such as DuPage County Crisis Services, NAMI, NAMI, DuPage, and others serve on the front lines of a war that many refuse to discuss, as their stigma regarding suicide and mental health issues remains prevalent. And whereas the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides free and confidential emotional support by phone and text in English and in Spanish to people in suicidal crisis, or emotional distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week across the United States. It has established the Be the 1-2 message to help spread the word about actions we can all take to prevent suicide. And now, therefore, I, Joseph A. Marquez, Mayor of the City of Darien, do hereby proclaim the month of September as National Suicide Prevention and Action Month in the City of Darien, and encourage all residents to take the time to understand the importance of mental health education, recognize the importance of taking care of ourselves and others, to take proactive steps to care for each other, and make suicide help resources such as DuPage Crisis Phone Support be the one to come to. The National Suicide Support Lifeline and others known to all. I think it's critical that that mental health is a critical issue that we all need to be aware of. We've taken measures within our own community that where we now have a part-time social worker working with our police department, and in about a month or so, we will have a full-time. She'll be working a full-time as a social worker. And just to give you, for instance, I had a situation that Alderwoman Sullivan is aware of with a gentleman who filed a police complaint about a month or so ago with regard to a theft. And we went through all the police reports and we dealt with the police, and the case has been closed. But what we realize is there's a good possibility this individual needs some mental health attention. So the police officer, Lauren Thrum, is recommending this gentleman to Sabrina for mental health services. So that just shows how we're trying to respond to that within our own community. And the part-time social worker will continue to service Burr Ridge, Hinsdale, and Willowbrook. And as a lot of you know, that we just opened up our Crisis Resource Center in DuPage County, which was a $25 million project, which is a beautiful facility. And if you haven't had a chance, you need to get over there and see that. So every year I read this proclamation because suicide is something people don't like to talk about. And yet I've known several people in the last couple of years who've had taken their life, and no one seemed to pay attention to what was going on in their life prior to that. And I think we all need to be more sensitive to that which is going around us. So with that, I'll close my mayor's report and go back to our council agenda, which is the city clerk's report.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Now the city administrator's report.
No report, Mayor, thank you.
Department head information and questions. Chief Thomas has an August report.
I have nothing to add if there's any questions or concerns.
Any questions? Any questions for Mr. Gamba?
I was gonna say, I have questions so have you found any more success with securing or enforcing the ordinance on the e-bikes and e-scooters?
We've talked to the person that you're referencing in the neighborhood and working with them to try to figure out ways to combat it. September 4th at 7 o'clock, officers saw about 5 kids operating electric bikes, stopped one. He was issued a no valid driver's license, no valid registration, uninsured motor vehicle, and fleeing police officer. On the 7th, another person was stopped, failure to reduce speed, no headlight, no valid registration, no driver's license, uninsured motor vehicle, and operating an off-highway vehicle on the roadway. So officers are out there trying to curtail that action. And there's comments about parents being involved and stop buying these devices for kids that are not legally able to drive them is the smartest move.
Chief, are we doing any communications with the schools as well?
When school started, we gave out the handout at the schools, and we did a national night out and a few other events.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Ted?
Thank you, Chief.
Dan, did we close on all those properties now?
I was just gonna bring that up, yeah, we just did the final closing last Friday, so properties are closed on, we're getting ready to go out to bid. We just have a little problem with the design on the actual fence, engineering, ingenuity, so on and so forth, so hopefully it's gonna be coming out very soon.
Congrats on that.
Yes, that was an accomplishment, thank you.
Anything else for Dan? I had a meeting with Sheriff Conroy last week, not by myself, but with a number of mayors. And I thanked her and DuPage County for their work on that project with us. And I had a laugh because I had mentioned to her once before that Mr. Gombeck, when he designs things, he designs them with a water feature. And
No more water.
Deb was sitting there at the table last week, and I brought it up and I said, I want to thank DuPage County for their intergovernmental agreement to do the wall on East Cass Avenue. And Deb wanted to know if Dan's come up with a design for a water feature. So his fame goes beyond Darien.
Did you hear that, Alderman Kenny?
It's not my ward, man.
Joe and I have this ongoing.
For the last 12 years.
Okay, standing committee reports, do the chairman have reports to give?
Nice to say.
Oh.
You're wearing beige, maybe you
know what, I
blended
flipped to the
in.
next page.
We're not paying, I guess we're not paying the bills this month.
Not that you're not important, Michael. We have a treasury report, I was gonna call you Alderman, Treasurer Corey.
Requesting council's approval of warrant number 252610 in the amount of $1,249,448.28 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended September 4th, the amount of $330,343.70. Total be approved $1,579,791.98.
Motion to approve, Alderman Kennedy, second by Alderman Shower. Any questions or comments? Roll.
Kenny?
Aye.
Shower?
Aye.
Sullivan?
Hi.
Stompanato?
Aye.
Belzak?
Aye.
Gustafson?
Aye.
Legansky?
Aye.
7 ayes.
And the monthly report, Mike.
Monthly report for the 4 months ended August 31st, 2025. General fund year-to-date revenue, $7,880,427. Expenses of $5,654,640. Current balance of $8,025,773. Water and water depreciation fund year-to-date revenue, $1,280,436. Expenses, $2,406,594. Current balance, $2,083,910. Motor fuel tax fund year-to-date revenue, $254,518. Expenses of $194,952. Current balance, $659,522. And capital improvement fund year-to-date revenue, $283,239. Expenses of $2,433,060. Current balance $19,620,109.
Thank you. Any questions for Mike on the monthly report? Now, standing committee reports. Alderman Belzak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next Municipal Services Committee meeting will take place a week from today, September 22nd at 6 p.m. in council chambers.
Alderwoman Sullivan.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Administrative Finance Committee meeting will take place on October 6th at 6 p.m. in the boardroom upstairs. And also a reminder as we, set the date soon and prepare for our planning sessions. in the fall of this year, and that in turn is a precursor for our budgeting for next year. I just ask all the elected officials to please fill out your goal-setting survey and as well as reply to the availability to make either November 19th or November 20th, and what your specific topics are.
Thank you. Alderman Kenny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The police committee canceled our meetings this evening due to lack of agenda items. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, October 20th, 6 p.m. across the parking lot in the police training room.
Thank you very much. Takes us to questions and comments, agenda related. Anybody have any, in the audience, have any questions about items on our agenda tonight? If not, we'll move to old business. There being none, we go to the consent agenda. We have 2 items. Consideration of a motion authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Windy City Amusements Incorporated dated September 5th, 2025 to provide amusement rides and attractions commencing on October 17th, 2025 and ending October 19th, 2025 for the Darien Fall Festival Carnival to be held at Chestnut Court Shopping Center, 75th and Lamont Road. Item B, consideration of a motion approving the new full-time staff position of administrative assistant to assist in a variety of projects, primarily in administration, community development, and the Darien Business Alliance Community Events Department. Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Belzak. And the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The consent agenda has been approved. New business, 1 item. Consideration of a motion accepting a proposal from LNG Welding Services Incorporated for the purchase and fabrication of mailbox assemblies for the city's mailbox program through April 30th, 2026. Motion to approve. Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Stompanato. And discussion.
It's 75.
If none, the roll.
I think Alderman Gustafson was asking how much, and the quote is for $7,574.
Yeah, that was supposed to be on there, I'm not sure what happens on the agenda itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the roll.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The item has been approved. Questions or comments and announcement, again, of a general nature. Alderman Kenny.
Mayor, on item B that we've just passed in the consent, when does that take place? When is it?
Item
effect.
B,
Item B.
the new staff member,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I just texted her tonight, so.
Okay.
No.
Center stage.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
A second.
Tom has.
Tom's got his hand
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry,
Just
Tom.
want to remind everybody that October 4th, there will be Oktoberfest. It'll be taking place in Westwood Park. It's from noon till 10 p.m. There'll be music, food, and beer. Splendid time is guaranteed for all.
They serve
Anything else? Anything else?
Alderman, is that a money back guarantee?
Motion to adjourn. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Stompanato. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Can I make a quick request?